I know. Okay, please forgive me. I know it's been a very, very, very long time. I know, but we just genuinely haven't been doing anything in the house. And other than house stuff, I'm a very boring person. So I just didn't think you'd want to see me totter around shops or tell you what I'm having for lunch that day. So yeah, please forgive me, but we are back with a vengeance. We have got so much content. You're not even going to be able to watch it all. We've had so much on in the last week. This video is going to be a long one, so go and grab a cup of tea, go and grab a snack, go and grab some food, sit down and enjoy this video. Sorry about all the mess behind me, you will see what this is all about. I thought I would do a bit of a run through for this video, so instead of it being a vlog where I kind of like take you through the week, because it's been so bitty, I haven't really been able to film it like a week in the life like I always do. I thought I'm just going to sit down and do some chapters for you, some opening chapters, closing chapters, so that you know what is going on, because even I don't know what's going on, so hopefully we can figure it out together. By this point, if you're new here, I'm Sade. We moved into this house about a year ago, me and my partner Rob, and we haven't really had projects to do or the kind of motivation to do anything, but we finally got our butts in gear and we are getting our ceilings plastered, so we have got to do a lot of prep work, and this video is pretty much all about the prep work for the plastering that is going to commence in the next video. So do follow along, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss my next uploads. Let's throw ourselves back a year ago. Pretty much we found a leak in the hallway and it was pretty heavy. We didn't know where it was coming from. We had plumbers come in and look at the issue. They were baffled as well. After we had thought that a plumber had fixed everything, I was in the kitchen washing up and I heard a dripping sound and it haunted me. I knew exactly what it was straight away. Rushed out to the hallway, huge puddle of floor on the huge puddle of water on the floor. So let me take you back. I actually can't quite believe it. It is the 15th of September today, probably a good 2 to 3 months after we had the leak capped off and fixed by HomeServe. I feel like it's been a real struggle to get to the bottom of this leak, and we're gonna have to call them out again. And if we can't figure it out with them, we're gonna have to just get a local plumber to just come and just do like a full check of the system or something. Gone and used the shower, come downstairs, and the floor is leaking again. It also leaked about 2 weeks ago when Rob's mum and dad came. Wait, I don't know. I kind of have to see it when I glare the light off of it. Can you see? So I don't know where in particular it's coming from. I've just set up my little kickstool because I want to look inside here again and see if I can feel around and see if anything's particularly wet. I'm so glad we never boarded this up. Like, it was a bit of a running joke that it was all still open, but yeah, I'm glad that we haven't done it. Okay, so this side of the plasterboard is soaked through. This is all dry. This is all dry, so it's definitely coming from this way. This is so typical. I'm meant to be leaving the house in literally 5 minutes now. I've just walked down thinking I had all of my stuff together and the floor was soaked. Actually, this now makes sense, because for the last few days I've thought this toilet smells awfully musty, kind of like a stale smell, and I've cleaned it all and it was still kind of hanging, and I thought it might have been the bath mat. Not that, changed that out. There's just like a hanging musty smell, and now it makes sense that there's dampness in the plasterboard and the wood underneath the sink area. So at least it kind of is making sense now. I feel like I'm gonna have to rip up the flooring. I don't want to do that right now. This is our only shower that works. I'm actually gonna just have to rip this vinyl off. There's genuinely such a stale smell going on here. Ooh! That is soaked. There's also a dead spider under there. The bottom of it is so dark because it's just absorbing water. Oh, that's terrible. And it smells pretty gross too. Right, if we peel this back, what's gonna happen? Oh God. Right, the whole floor is absolutely soaked. And I've just had a shower. This corner in particular was actually just wet. Let me go inside the shower and check. Sealed, that part's sealed, they're sealed, it's all sealed. There's not enough of a broken seal, if there is one, to be absolutely soaking the floor like it just did. So the only thing that's standing out to me is potentially in this tiny little gap, which I can't even show you because it's just so small. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That is almost instant. Oh, so it's the corner of the shower. Oh my God, you're kidding me. I don't know whether to laugh or cry or be happy or be extremely peed off right now. I'm gonna really lightly just splash a bit of water in the corner and see what happens. Just a little bit. There we go. Did you see that? Yeah. So now I'm gonna hold it there and then it just absolutely runs through. Okay, that's the problem. I'm not gonna lie, that is not something that I want to deal with right now. I am meeting my friends for belated birthday celebrations. So we are gonna just leave it there. I've tucked some tissue in the corner. I'm gonna forget about it because I feel like a little bit of sealer will hopefully eradicate the issue. And then we can let everything dry out. I'm still gonna have to leave the ceiling probably opened up to make sure that nothing else happens over the next few weeks. But yeah, this is an issue for another day. At least I feel like I've found the problem. And if that is the problem, that tiny little hole has been this issue that has dragged on for months. Well, all we can do is be grateful that we found it now, right? So I figured it out. I'm very, very happy at this stage. I figured it out. Taken out all of the old silicone and sealant and put some new silicone sealant down that is mold proof, and it's also going to give us a really watertight seal. So touch wood that we will not have this issue again. Next thing, ceilings. I'm so happy we're finally getting the ceilings plastered. I honestly don't know what has taken me this long. I think I was suffering from a little bit of burnout and I just couldn't bring myself to do something like this because I thought it was such a big project. But we've got a great plasterer come in. He's come and had a look around. He's given us a quote. We've told him about our kind of tension points and he's talked us through what we need to do. So now it's time for us to do it. Starting with downstairs, we've got coving to take off the walls and we've got a hole to fill in and plasterboard from the previous leak. So I think we might need like a sharper, see the end of that crowbar, might need to have like a much sharper blade because it's kind of blunt, isn't it? Should we try the multi-tool?
Yeah, can do.
I think it's gone through the wall. So we started to get the coving off in really tiny little chunks, but later on in the video we're going to show you a better way that we've been taking the coving off. Now let's go upstairs into the landing. So as you go upstairs, the ceiling that you're presented with was really bowed. I have a feeling that there used to be a water tank boiler in our home that got removed because you can see where it used to sit, you can see some of the old timers, and we also have that kind of airing cupboard that looks like the tank has been ripped out of there. There may have been water damage because those ceilings are so bowed, and I don't think it's just from the nails. So this house is about 30 years old. Back in the day they used to use nails instead of screws to screw up plasterboards, which now that we think about it, not so clever because gravity, you know, they tend to fall down. So what people normally do is just bang a couple of screws in on top so that they don't fall out any further. But ours, the actual board is bowed itself, and it may just be over time where it's just sunken and the plasterboard inside is cracked. And it's, you know, not sure, but it was a pretty big project, so we had to get up into the loft. There you go.
Well, we need to measure how far the bow is.
Oh yeah, we're trying to measure, see that dip? I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but we've got a really terrible dip in the ceiling here.
Terrible what?
Terrible dip.
Oh, dip.
It's about 145 centimetres-ish.
Right, I think, from what I can see, it looks like the boards are just sagging.
Correct.
So you can see that this joist here that runs along has got basically a gap between the joist and the ceiling board. So that's where the ceiling board is kind of bowed and dropped a little bit. Whereas this one over here is completely flush where it should be.
Yeah. Oh, you can see it there. See that there? That's sagged so much. Yeah, there you can see that. Figured out that the ceiling boards were drooping a little bit from the nails, but we're still unsure what's going on. We've decided that we're just going to let our plasterer deal with that. He gave us a quote that we were happy with. We're going to let him figure that situation out because it's quite a big project for us. We've never done it before. It's going to be expensive and it's going to need a good finish so that he can plaster over it. So we're just going to leave that to him. We have been having such a difficult time the last couple of days. Booked a plasterer to come round. We've got so much prep work to do before he comes. So I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can. In this living room, we've got coving. When I put it up in our previous home, you just whack it up with a little bit of coving, adhesive, nothing crazy. Probably would be able to pull down really quite relatively easily. This one feels like it has been adhered by supernatural forces. It's gyprock plaster, so I think because of the age of the house, I think it's what they used to do back in the day. Now you can get like a kind of plastic or polystyrene style coving, which is much more lightweight. This stuff is like thick. It's that kind of plasterboard density, and it's been stuck on with old school coving adhesive, which is like, it feels like cement. It is honestly as strong as cement. Rob and I have been trying for the last couple of days to try and get the stuff down in the hallway. The first instance was terrible. We ended up just bashing loads of holes into the coving, couldn't pull any of it off, and at that point I thought, oh my god, what have we done? We should have just left it, because now I'm gonna have to try and get it off regardless. Did some research, found out online through forums and stuff that it's actually really difficult regardless to take coving down. People have a really difficult time with it, but there are a few little tricks and hacks that you can do. We've resorted to scoring the coving between the wall and the coving a couple of times as deeply as we can with a really sharp Stanley blade, top and bottom, for as long as a length as we can do. Rob then also started to use a chisel yesterday to get underneath and kind of break the seal of that adhesive at the same time. And then you get a hammer or a crowbar behind it and you pull at it, but in order to really spread the weight and use as much force as possible, you put a piece of wood, flat piece of wood, that you leverage the crowbar or the hammer on so that it doesn't poke holes in the wall, because that happened to us. But if you put this piece of wood, it stops that happening. It spreads the weight across the plasterboard of the wall, and then it uses the brute force to pull at the coving, and it has been coming off in big chunks. This morning, Rob really got into it. It is honestly just a game of brute force at this stage with the tools that we've got. Now, the next thing I wanted to do, you know me, I'm a crazy girl. I knew that the plasterers were coming on Monday, and on Friday I decided I want to knock down that wall in that second bedroom. So the bedroom we're going to make the guest bedroom. We're actually swapping out our wardrobe room and our guest bedroom, but essentially we're swapping 2 rooms. So we're going to put the guest bedroom, we're going to make that the slightly smaller room and make the bigger room our wardrobe room. Reason being is we don't have guests come and stay that often, and they don't stay for very long. So at the minute they're staying in this really huge room that's then not only really good for being used a couple of times a year, and whilst it's a really lovely experience for our guests, I thought I could make just as nice an experience in a slightly smaller room, still a really good sized room, slightly smaller room, make it really cozy, and then that second bedroom we can actually turn into our wardrobe, getting ready, a second sort of like personal space, because we need a lot more functionality from our wardrobe space. The bedroom that we're going to turn into the guest bedroom now had some built-in wardrobes that backed onto the other side of the room, which was another room, which is Rob's office, that also has a sister pair of wardrobes that sit next to each other, right? So it goes room, wardrobes, room, and in the wardrobes there's 2 of them, one here, and they've got a partitioning wall between them. And I decided on Friday I'm going to take that wall out. I'm going to knock that down, and I'm going to do it all before the plasterer comes on Monday. Crazy girl. I like to live on the edge. I like a little bit of a deadline. I actually really work well under pressure, under deadlines. So anyway, we're going to knock that out. But spoke to some of my buildery friends, and they said just make sure, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't a load bearing wall, go up into your loft and look at your rafters and your beams to make sure that none of those are relying on those walls before you pull anything down and destroy your house. And we've been doing some research to figure out what a load bearing wall looks like, how we can figure it out. We've got one of our builder friends, we've sent him a picture, and he said he might be able to come and pop and have a look. But he said what we need to go and do is go in the loft and see if our trusses sit on top of those walls, because if they do, then we will need to put a steel beam in to support the wall, but if not, then we should get away with being able to just remove it. I have no idea what a truss is, so we're going to go on this journey together. So let's figure that out. Let's Google it. Roof trusses. Roof trusses. Is that how you spell them? Okay, roof truss. Click on an image and we'll figure it out. So it looks like there are different types of roof truss. So we're going to have to go in to our loft and see. I'm assuming we probably have one of these like attic standard overhang. What are the trusses in a roof? A roof truss is, I can't say that word, truss, is an engineered structural framework of triangulated timbers that provides support for a roof. How do they work? They're like a lid on a box. They work by transferring the weight of the roof to the load-bearing walls of the house. Okay, that's what we wanted to know. So the weight of the roof, all of those big roof tiles that sit on there, that's going to stack a lot of weight. Boom, boom, boom. It needs somewhere to sit so that it doesn't collapse in. So it sits on the trusses, which sit on the load-bearing walls, tunnel all of that heaviness and that weight down into the foundations of the house, and probably so forth into the ground where the structural engineering is going on down there. You can't alter them, which we're not going to try and do anyway. That's fine. That's good to know. So if we go into the loft and see if any of the trusses sit on what looks like the positioning of where the walls that we want to remove are, then that's a no-go. We're going to have to keep them where they are. I'm kind of just poking at thin air here, haven't got a clue, so let's just wait till we get into the loft. Okay, so I've just found a video and it's explained that these are the joists and this is the truss, and then this underneath here that runs perpendicular is a wall. Now, if the joists are joined on top of the wall, or if they run or if the trusses sit on top of that wall, that is a load-bearing wall. So we're going to go in the loft now and figure out if that situation looks like it's happening for us.
So where do we think that the wall is? Like here? It's almost in the middle of the house.
Yeah, that looks about right.
So there's nothing in there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It's kind of looking like it was in the middle.
So there's no joist sitting on that wall because it's a full beam. The only joists there, they're joined here. So whatever walls underneath here, they probably sit on top of.
There is a light I can take what I need to get by. Doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am gold? I want it all. I have a feeling that feeling is all. We'll be together. Take me back as I've been. I want it all.
This is, in case you're wondering, the layout of the house. So these were twin wardrobes, like this. So Rob had the green doors this side, and then the wardrobes sat in here, and then the green doors were on the other side over there for this bedroom, and then this bedroom was mainly the carpeted space you can see.
These screws are so unnecessarily long.
No, everything in this house is just, it feels really unnecessary. Like even all the nails, look how long they are. There's just nails everywhere. We haven't seen one screw yet, which I don't know if I'm thankful for or not, but the nails everywhere, they're just ridiculous. We have been tapping all of these nails into the wood so that if anyone were unfortunate enough to stand on the wood, it doesn't impale them. Have done that with all the wood that we've taken down so far, just need to do it with this little bit, so I'll get on and do that. We've damaged one of the walls by taking... Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
We've damaged one of the walls by taking off that wooden stud, and it's got dab behind, so they're kind of secured in place with this really tough adhesive. So we've just removed all of the gyprock plasterboard. We're going to repair it, but we need to try and get these dots off first.
Let me know if you want to swap at any point.
got a relatively clean room now. We really want to try and get a Henry Hoover as a Hoover for all of the kind of construction stuff that we do in the house, because there's no way on earth I'm using my nice Hoover on any of this rubble. We've managed to pull all of this plasterboard out that was really worn. We've taken off the plasterboard adhesive, which was horrible, but we just used a hammer and a bolster chisel. It's a good tool, a bolster chisel. We're gonna just head over to the recycling centre now, and Rob's taken down most of the wood downstairs and outside, along with some of the sacks of rubbish. We're going to take those to the recycling centre, and we're going to grab ourselves a milkshake from McDonald's. There's a little thumbs up reward, and we're going to head to B&Q and see what we can do about this. I've already taken measurements. It seems like this plasterboard is about 0.9 mil thick, and then this wood was 3.5 centimetres, so we're going to try and find matches. We need a strong wood, but we're lucky that the wood runs up there, so we're basically just going to build a shell that fits perfectly in there. Let's go to B&Q. We've just got back from B&Q, and we bought a fair few things. We've got wood, we've ordered plasterboard. The plasterboard we ended up ordering was 2,400 mil height by 1,200 width. The depth of it was 9.5. You can also get a 12.5 millimeters, but measuring up, when we measured up these plasterboards, they seem like they're slightly just under 1 centimetre, which indicates that they're the 9.5 mils. They also come in two types, so you can get a tapered edge or a straight edge board. I'm actually not sure what you would use a tapered edge. I think it's where you put scrim tape between them and then you can like plaster the joins, something like that. The guy at B&Q recommended that if we're skimming over the top of them, we get the straight edge, which makes sense to us considering we're just trying to put the edges together, skim between them to join everything up. I've set myself up with the measuring tape because we've got the wood downstairs. I'm going to start to create the frame for it here now, but what I really want to do is to make it as tight fitting as possible. So not that it's going to be any kind of like structural, it's not going to load in any way. I want it to really fit snug in the wall so that when the plasterboard is sitting on top of it, it's got nowhere to go. I'm also going to be driving, once we've got the frame in place, driving it into this. We've got a wooden stud here into there, we've got one above. We're going to be putting it into the walls too, and then likely just a couple of screws into the floorboard, very small screws just to hold it in place so it doesn't knock about. So we've got 34 by 34 mil softwood plain smooth timber, and it's at a height of 2,400
2.4 metres.
2.4 metres. If you're looking to provide structural support, this is pine. Maybe go for like an oak, or yeah, I'm not really sure, maybe get advice on that. This isn't for structure, this is just to hold the plasterboard in place. So I'm going to mark up the measurement and cut it down to size. I've got my mitre saw on the floor.
Show you what I wish I knew. My will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately. The other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds. When I return from my skin and bone, I'm remembering the words you told me.
I am absolutely shattered. Can you see the top of the door frame? Using this excellent piece of kit. This is I don't know what you call this. I just call it a corner thing when I need Rob to get it for me. The corner thing. Fantastic for getting perfect right angles in corners when adjoining wood and materials. Love them, fantastic. Really good for like when you need to be so accurate and precise with making things square and frame, like such. So we're going to pick it up off the floor and hope. Hi! I'm just about to try and get it in place. I hope to God that we can fit it in frame. It's going to be so tight. Okay.
It's got long. Nice.
Absolutely dead.
Right, go and get some food and I'll tidy up. Is that game over for the night?
I think that's so solid.
Yeah.
Done. Game over. Shower.
Yeah.
Finite.
Right.
Bombocho.
I'll tidy up.
It looks so good. See you in the morning. Good morning, guys. Hello, it's a new day, bright and early, very achy. We've just been to the tip. We've already made a tip run full of half of the plasterboard, wood, all of those things. So we've cleaned up a little bit. We're about to make a second tip run because we have got a little bit left, but we do need to go to the hardware stores, B&Q, because we need to try and plasterboard a little section downstairs. I'm going to show you it. It's the leak area, but I wanted to show you how this looks in the daytime. Still really happy with it. Ran in this morning like a little kid on Christmas and I was like, love it. When you open this door now, because there's so much space to the right of it, and because we're not used to that space, it just feels humongous. So really happy with that. We've genuinely only gained like maybe 40 centimetres, 45, 50 centimetres in width. It's not even that much, but it feels really good. This feels super sturdy still. It hasn't been drilled in around the frame just yet. I'm going to do that when I get back, and then we're going to put in 2 more pieces of wood just to hold the frame together and keep the plasterboard secure and in place. That plasterboard's not getting delivered till Monday. Today's Saturday, so we've got 2 days to get a lot of stuff done. I'm hoping to get as much of the kind of tough work done today, which includes the section I'm going to show you downstairs and the rest of the coving in the living room and the dining room, because I've got some work to film on Sunday. So hope we can get it done. Okay, this is the little section down here that we're going to have to try and board up. Now, I was thinking to pull the whole of the boards off and just replace them, cut a hole in the middle for the light. Rob thinks we should tackle it by just trying to fill this little space. So if we cut it a little bit straighter, try to at least, and then just fill the space, we might be able to get away with that. We've got a little bit of an issue. Plasterboard is absolutely huge, and we've got Rob's car, which isn't very compatible with pieces like plasterboard and long pieces of wood and strips of wood and stuff. So what we're thinking is we've kind of taken rough measurements of that section already. So we've taken rough measurements and we're going to try and buy the plasterboard there, because we need this done ASAP. Buy the plasterboard there and cut it in the car park, get it into the car in smaller pieces so that we can transport it home. Because the other boards that we've ordered that are coming for Monday, they have to come in full sheets. So we've had to pay £30 delivery charge, which is just wild. But yeah, that's what we're trying to do. So wish us luck with this whole situation. I'm going to literally bring my Stanley blades to the car park. It's pretty easy to cut, you just score it and snap it, she says. Famous last words.
Is that going to be enough? Take the side.
I've no idea why that has just been left like that, but we want to make sure that if it needs somewhere to go, it will have somewhere to go. So it's actually meant to join onto this one where a previous plumber just capped it off the end, but I want to just adjoin them again just to make sure it's got somewhere to go in case in the future it does need to run water out. We've just spent 25 minutes up in the new widened gap trying to figure out this pipe situation that we went to B&Q. Stood in the plumbing section of B&Q for probably half an hour talking to the B&Q staff members, trying to figure out how we're going to extend the pipe, cap the pipe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe go back and watch, like early this year there was a video where we had a leak in the ensuite and we had to cut into the ceiling, blah blah blah. We figured out that there was a pipe that was exposed, so it was leaking. Just gone to extend the pipe to make sure that it's got somewhere to travel to. Because we've now taken most of the board down, we can actually see that the pipe genuinely leads to nowhere. This is the pipe. This is the pipe. So we could see this much sticking out the plasterboard. Came to here, we used to be able to see this much. And we thought, oh, it must run all the way down this part of the house into the main bathroom. This was the end of the pipe. Just this. This whole thing was just sitting randomly, just sitting between the floorboards. This has caused so much confusion for nearly a year. The best part of a year. I don't know if I'm happy or if I'm just really peed off, but at least we know
which one of them things I am.
at least we know this runs nowhere, so I don't have to worry about any leaks in the main bathroom. Now we're just going to put the plasterboard up. We're just going to put it up. Just put it all away. I never want to see it again. I don't want to hear about this leak ever again. It's gone, it's done. If you've never worked with plasterboard before, it's actually relatively really easy. I've just marked a couple of markings of 35 centimetres. With plasterboard, you just need a Stanley blade. Slowly make the mark. Take my time with it, so there's no rush. And it's actually easier if you've got like something butted up to the edge of this. If you struggle with keeping a straight line, put a piece of wood on the side or a ruler, bend it back, put it back on itself so it goes all the way, then bring it forward, and then on the other side,
On the other side you throw a Stanley blade at.
try not to throw the Stanley blade at it. Back down through that bend. Again, just take your time, don't need to rush with it. There we go. Right, signing off. I look absolutely, well, I probably don't look that mad. I hate when people on YouTube are like, I look absolutely crazy, and it's like, no, you don't, babe. I feel crazy, but I'm going to sign off here for this video because we've done a lot in this video, and we've just tried to attach this plasterboard to this wall. Now, the difference between this wall and the frame was that I had the frame to screw onto, whereas they've dot and dabbed this plasterboard. You can see where all of the existing cement adhesive used to be that I've chipped off. We bought this by recommendation by one of the guys in B&Q, but it's not quite fit for purpose for this project, but he said he used it a lot when he had his plasterboarding project. I guess maybe if you're like plasterboarding out a garage or something, you could use that, but where we're trying to align the previous board and the new board, it's not quite thick enough. So I think what we're going to do is, our plasterer is coming tomorrow. He was meant to come today, but he's had a problem with his van, so hopefully he turns up tomorrow. I'm going to say to him, right, Alfie, what's going on here? Let me know, how should we attack this? Hopefully he'll just say, I'll do it. But if not, maybe he'll give us some tips. Rob had a suggestion of, similarly to what we did here, we'll just go and get some wood that is the right thickness, kind of similar to the dot and dab, put that all in, and then we can screw the boards in place, or we can just grab some dot and dab, because we did see it in B&Q, just mix it up with a paddle, slap it on, push the board in place, and Bob's your uncle. But yeah, signing out for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Me and Rob have learned a lot and we've done a lot. We're absolutely exhausted and there's still so much to go. But next video is the plasterer coming. So hopefully we start to see these ceilings turn from bumpy to smooth, which I can't wait for. And I also haven't told the plasterer that I would like him to plaster this section, so fingers crossed he will do that for us. Anyway, till the next one, guys. Lots of love. Bye. Mwah. So I managed to build the frame and everything, get that done before Monday, before the plasterers come. I'm so happy with the progress that we've made. Honestly, when you work under a deadline and you've got pressure, you can do a lot of things. Humans are very capable. I'm very capable. Rob's very capable. So I'm really, really proud of us. I really, really am. We've made such good progress, and we're so excited to continue on the journey. We've actually had the plasterers in yesterday. So I thought I would do this video to put it out there, because even though it's kind of been bitty, I wanted to give you a bit of an overview, because I barely know what's going on, so you're not going to know what's going on. So hopefully this has added a little bit more context behind it, a bit more of the story and where we are, the journey, so you can follow along a little bit more easily. So in the next video, because we are pretty much back in real time, and that is my plasterer pulling up right now, we're going to do plastering. I was so excited. So you're going to have to wait until the next video to see that. But yeah, super excited for this one. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe and I will see you in the next one. So take care guys, lots of love, bye.